Hey guys, this is Anna again in the parlor of magical curiosities, and I wanna take this opportunity to talk about the moon, the sign of Cancer, and some of the meanings of the moon in Cancer and the new moon. And so this happened yesterday, but it's okay. We always have the influence of these transits. It's a little bit before, a little bit after. I'm sitting here on the floor of my new house. I still have no furniture or more stuff around other than some boxes with books that I usually move first the books and then I move in because I cannot live without my books, and I brought also some of my plants. So it's very relevant to talk about home and safety and nourishment and the meaning of Cancer and the moon. It's about the mother. What is motherhood? What is how do we feel mothered, right? Are we the kind of people that nourishes others? And all these questions are topics, right, for Cancer. The sign of Cancer, it's the sign of the moon. There's it's the first, the second, the luminary of the night, the feminine luminary. We have the sun, that it's the luminary of the masculine side of masculine experience of life, and then we have the moon, that is the feminine experience. She's nocturnal, she's recipient, she's very given, but she has a very, very important, in astrology, well, the moon, it's really crucial to understand. It depends on what type of astrology you're doing, but the moon represents our mother, the type of mother we are, the type of mothering that we need, and all the emotional baggage and all the emotional part of us. Baggage because the moon represents all the childhood trauma that we have from our mother. I think the people in astrology sometimes don't say the things like as they are, like raw, right? Like there's always this mysticism to make it sound better or more intellectual. But the truth is that the moon represents our inheritance from our mother. And it also, in medical astrology, represents, in some charts, also electional, it's the person, the body, right? In medical astrology, the sun, it's the type of energy that we carry, and the moon represents how it's this light, this energy is distributed around the body. So it says a lot about our health, our mental health as well. Depending on mental health, because obviously the emotional side and the mental side are super connected. So how we feel in the type of feelings that we have will always represent the mental health or the lack of mental health that we have, right? So if you're depressed, it's because something happened and your body can feel it. It's everything related. So it's not as simple as, oh, that's the moon represent your emotions. Not only that, It also represents the mother figures in your lineage. So your grandmother, your great-grandmother, all the lineage of the feminine, and your mother figures that you have. For instance, my mother had a lot of sisters, and they were like mothers to me. Not all of them. Some were more like aunts, but 3 of my aunties were really second mothers for me. So I had a lot of mother wounds, because each one of them taught me something. But they also broke me in a way, right? Or inherited to me their wounds, their own. Like, this is more about I'm gonna talk about more the psychological today, because in Hellenistic astrology, that's a little bit left behind. It's a different approach. So this insight will be a combination of everything that I studied and know and experienced on my own. I like to talk about experiences, because what else can I say? Everything is said in astrology. There's thousands of books, thousands of extraordinary teachers, and it's all there, right? You just have to look for the right person, the right teacher, the right book. But they don't talk a lot about experiences of the everyday life. Hellenistic astrology has a lot. All the books, the texts, they talk about their own experiences, but are so foreign for us, because that was 1,000 years ago, right? So we really don't understand how these people used to live. So, and everything is very they always see the light through the lenses of a very a paradigm that tends to be very negative, right? So the moon, because it's the one that moves quickly, has more influence than any other planet. That is something that you need to learn through the ancient astrology. All the transits of the moon have a huge impact in your chart, and she moves 29 days. In the 29 days, that's the entire cycle, 29 and a half. But every day, if it's a movement, every 36 hours, it's a different sign. So really the moon touches, and it's the one that it's like, it represents water, right? So moving, it's a water sign, the sign of Cancer, the sign of the moon, and the sign of her exaltation. I mean, it's at home. There's a saying that there's no exalted planet in where the moon and the sun sits. There's no detriment in this or fall. There's a exalted. Jupiter is exalted in the sign of Cancer. Sorry, my mistake. And obviously the sun has its own sign, that it's Leo, that it's coming so soon, the next cycle, but we're still during Cancer. So what is relevant for this cycle of the moon with all the outer planets? I really don't know how can we really give a forecast for this, because with Uranus, Pluto and Neptune, you can't tell. You can't suppose, oh, this might happen, or this can be something. But really, when you see Neptune, especially Neptune and Uranus, having a conversation like they're having right now, we don't know. Neptune dissolved everything that it's clear. So Neptune is like a fogginess where you really don't see. You know things are there, but you don't really see the things clearly. So it's better not to be very certain about things when we have Neptune around. And then Uranus always breaks expectations. It's always something very sudden that you have no idea where it came from. And when this transit is so influenced by these two, with Pluto is different because we know that there's like an intensity and an intention to face certain shadows that are. Pluto is always about bringing the shadow to exposure. So things that are hidden and dark, Pluto likes to bring them up so you can face your shit. And it's related also with all this, when I say shit, literally it's related with all this dark side of things that we don't like to talk about, things that are hidden, things that are ugly, things that stink, all the drainages and all these things that we don't like, this dark side of life, that's Pluto. So because it's gonna affect the collective, it depends if it touches something very, very close to your own natal personal planets or something like that. In my case, for instance, and this is about the Neptune, Pluto, and Uranus. In my life, it started last week. Week and a half ago, this transit of Uranus falls in my 5th house. That is the house of children, and this is about the mother, right? Houses, and the sun in Cancer. So 2 of my sons are Cancerians, and the one that has the moon, the sun in Cancer, he has Sun Mercury, has Mercury retrograde as well, just as it is right now when he was born. So it was his birthday, and a few days later, he came back from work very sick, with food poisoning, and he was really bad. So he had this day really bad. The next day he couldn't get out of bed. He was very bad and with a very severe pain in the right side, the lower abdomen. So obviously, because he was vomiting and all that, he took, I thought, well, this is about the toxic things that are really, his system is irritated. So I said, yeah, you know what, it's okay, you don't need more than rest and a very, very soft diet and hydration, and let's see how you feel, but don't take anything else. He's all grown up, so he does whatever he wants. He likes my when I recommend him teas and herbs. As an herbalist, I always try to use first the plants, but in this case he was taking chamomile, and I said, you know what, no, this is not enough. So I sent him, all right, slippery elm for the diarrhea, and some marshmallow to soothe the stomach, the tract, the digestive tract. And I thought, well, he already has Mercury retrograde, because it was during the Mercury retrograde it was already in shadow, or it was already started. So I thought it's not gonna be that hard for him. But there was Neptune, and it was, he has Leo's sixth house, with a difficult configuration. He has Saturn in the sixth house. So the sixth house represents not only our work or colleagues, employees more, or pets, but also sickness. Not only routines for health as well, but sickness. So when you have a transit of the sixth house, you can get very, very sick. And if it touches difficult planets, like in my son's case, it touched the moon, the ruler of her moon, and Saturn. So instead of having just a food poisoning, he started to get worse and worse. He couldn't move. The pain was very difficult. So he told me, you know what, I'm gonna go with the doctor. And I said, you know, I believe you have colitis because of the inflammation that you just, it's an infection. So when in medical astrology, when there's an inflamed system, you can't really diagnose what is, you need to lower the inflammation first. So he said, no, Mom, I don't feel good, I'm going to the doctor. So he went to the doctor. And they say, you know what, go to the hospital because this looks like appendicitis. And well, appendicitis is a part of the intestine, right? So I thought, it can be. I checked the transits, and there was Neptune there. So Neptune rules infections. And I thought, oh, with the moon and Venus, and I thought, yeah, maybe he can. But I was like hoping. So he was waiting 11 hours in the emergency room, and finally, like feeling really bad. And finally, he got in, and after some the diagnosis was that, yeah, he had the appendicitis and that he had to have a surgery. So for me, it was this Uranus. That's how Uranus functions, right? You don't expect it to happen. You think it's not gonna happen, but it happens. And that was for me in my fifth house of children. But in his chart was a very difficult configuration. He might have had, I mean, if it were me, I would have waited until, instead of having the surgery so sudden, that's Uranus, everything sudden, you don't have time to consider other options, you don't have time to say no, it's just like you're going to the surgery and that's it. So that's what happened with my son. Fortunately, everything went well. The moon was in Aries when this happened, so I thought the moon in Aries, it tends to inflammation, right? But it's more in the head because Aries rules the head. So fortunately, there was a time he had to wait until there was a surgeon available in the public system, and the moon moved to Taurus. So I thought, yeah, perfect. The moon in Taurus, the surgeon will be more calm. He's gonna take his time. He's gonna do the things right. Because with Aries, it's just so quickly everything. It's fire. So sometimes they made mistakes, and I have a story with the moon, the ruler in Aries, and I had a bad surgery because the surgeon was in a rush and he left half of the surgery undone. So I was concerned about that, but with Taurus, it was good, thorough surgery, well done. but he's having trouble to recover. He thought it was gonna be super quickly, but he's still, it's been a week, almost a week. Oh yeah, it's been a week, and he's still in bed. He can't work. So all these movements, right? When we have a transit, a difficult transit. So you don't know. This was so sudden and unexpected, and it's his first surgery. He's never had anything serious before. But now he's taking medications that I don't like him to have, and the herbs, doctors, they have a different insight, and he was told to eat whatever he wanted. When I was like, man, the first thing when you lose a part of your digestive system is to have a great diet, and you can't eat chocolate or stuff that are irritant for the tract. And the doctors, they don't consider food, and food is the sign of cancer as well. So he had a bad follow-up because doctors are not trained into the importance of the diet. Like they don't learn that, or they have like 2 hours, so they don't know that after a surgery you need to eat healthy, very light. And I actually asked the nurse what's the diet that he has to have, and she's like, no, whatever he wants. He was so hungry because he had to be more than 2 days without food, so just go to the cafeteria and buy whatever he wants. And so because I left, but the people that was with him obviously brought him processed meat and bread and stuff that you shouldn't eat, right? But anyways, that was my Uranus, Neptune, because sometimes, and Pluto, because Pluto, all these parts of the body, Pluto has a certain influence in the digestive tract, especially the colon. And I think that with this infectious things are ruled by Neptune, Pisces, but also Pluto always have, when there's a putrefaction, right? Putrid stuff, that's Pluto, putrid stuff. So that's a story. We'll see how it develops, because once you have a transit, there's always like a chain of events that come after. But now that we have the new moon, new moons are new beginnings, a new cycle. You have a new opportunity to start things over. And right now with the Mercury retrograde, let's focus on the ancient people. They didn't know about the outer planets, so they have no influence in their experience, intellectual experience, right? So other planets have the same influence. The outer planets took meaning from the ancient 7 traditional planets, so Mars and others. The moon will be associated with things that now are ruled by Neptune, and well, it's Pisces has an affinity with Cancer, but the sign of Cancer rules the stomach. Another thing with my son. It all started with an infection in the stomach, a pain, right? There was Mars, a very strong Mars aspecting that. Mars is always heat, anger, and southern things like Uranus. But this moon speaks to us about our experience as mother. In my case, well, I have 4 children, so it's my entire life has been being a mother. And how we experience a mother figure, our own mother. And it's about feeling safe and part of the lineage, part of the pack, right? Like if we were wolves or dogs that are obviously evolved home wolves, that will be feeling safe in the arms of your mother, or people, women that feel like a very mothering influence. I'm that type of person. I know that sometimes people tell me their stories, right? Very difficult stories, and they just, even strangers, they just tell me their stuff because they know, they feel, right, that I can understand. My 2 kids that are Cancerians, well, one is not as close to me. He was when he was born. This child that I'm talking about, the one in the surgery, when he was born, I had to carry him for 1 year because he didn't wanna, he was clingy. This is the pincers, the crab, the symbol of Cancer is a crab, and everything, all animalistic signs, they like to they represent like people with strong influence of the sign. They have affinity with the animal, so they are meant to represent that part of the animal as humans. People don't like to hear this sometimes, but it's super important when you're learning to read your birth chart. So Cancerians, they create this very tough shell to protect how vulnerable they are inside. So Cancerians are very sensitive and extremely moody because the influence of the moon on them, it's huge. So they change moods every 36 hours with the moon. So they need to be with people that understand how moody they are. So they're very sensitive, but also very protective. That's the part of the mother. Our mother is here to protect the children, their cubs, right? In animals, the baby. So I still say to my kids, even when they're 19 and 26 and 15, they're my babies, even if they're so grown up right now. But they'll be my babies all. For me, they are babies, even when they're 2 meters height. Right? So they protect themselves a lot because they're very vulnerable. Their sensitivity, they tend to be very psychic. Not all of them, but if they develop this gift, they can be very, very intuitive and psychic because they can feel, they can learn, they can read the energy. Their stomach, that's the power chakra, the willpower chakra, it's very open. That's in the stomach, right? So they can feel with the stomach what's going on. That's why they need the shell to protect this porosity. It's a very porous sign. So they like to hide. They carry their home with them, like the crab. So for Cancerians, the home and everything related with the home, the mother, the protection, and water, emotions, it's their entire life. So sometimes they really spend a lot of energy trying to protect from others, because they have this type of sensibility that they prefer to not causing problems. So they would, even if they feel bad, instead of acting on it and tell you, you hurt me, or this is something that I don't like, or they just hide. They just go into the shell and they stay there. So even if you try to tell them, are you okay? With my other son, he's a Cancer rising. He doesn't have planets in Cancer, but he's a Cancer rising. It's impossible to make him tell you what's going on with him. They live in their shell. They tend to be very nice with friends, with their family. Family is super important for them. My other son is always family first. Family first, mom. He was worried that he wouldn't be able to help me with my moving because he's the biggest in the family, so he always carries a lot. And he always helps me with my movings. And he was like, no, mom, I won't be able to help you. Maybe I can go and just take the things that are not heavy. And I was like, you're not gonna move until you're perfectly fine, right? Because that surgery had a lot of negative aspects. So when you have a lot of negative aspects, you have to be more careful and conscious that you have to take care of yourself more. That's the medical astrology approach, right? But really, Cancerians are very vulnerable. They're very sensitive. They are very nurturing. They love food. They love everything that reminds them of home and the mother. So there's like two sides of Cancerians. Some of them, they're like super attached to their mother. They have a really good relationship or a very strong connection. It might be difficult, not always it's like roses with the mother, but they are very attached to the mother. They clinch. Scorpios and Cancerians, they clinch. They clinchy. So they're moody, they're clingy, they change a lot with the days. They need time away from people because their nervous system gets extremely agitated with other people's feelings because they feel their feelings of others. So they need to decompress. When they socialize, after the social experience, they need to go into their cave. Like my son, the eldest, he has literally his bedroom, it's a caveman. He has the curtains always closed, the lights off, dark, right? The shell. And he goes there to hide from society, from the stress of being outside, of talking with people, of working, of everything. The other one, he's a Taurus, so he needs more light. So he likes, but he gets, after socializing, after going with the friends, after school, every time they come back home, they need to be in their space alone, quiet, and covered. So my other son, because he's a Taurus, he needs the sunlight. he doesn't like to be in the obscurity. Darkness is not for him. The other one, yes, because he was born during the night, so his chart is a night chart. He likes to be in the darkness, but this is a sun in a Taurus with light. He was born during spring, so he loves light. But he gets into his bed, covers with all the sheets and blankets, and then he puts a pillow on him to protect him. They're so cute. Really, it's like you see the crab and you understand these people. So protect me. And then it's my mom, right? He's mama's baby. The mother, I'm the most important person in his life. Always, since he was born. Both the first one, but he has a different chart. He has a lot of Sagittarius and Aries. So my eldest, even when he has the Sun and Mercury in Cancer in a night chart, so it's very strong Cancerian energy. It's very sensitive, but he has aspects that make his Cancerian energy less attached to me. We lost each other when he was very young. He moved to live in another house when he was 12 or 13 years old. And that obviously was very hard for him. But that's his own story. He has to deal with that because of his chart. Like, there's an indication for him to grow up without the mother. Because I'm very protective, right? Cancerians, the mother tend to be very, very protective. So sometimes they hide under the mother and they don't go out into the world correctly. And they suffer with, or they're so attached to the mother that they cannot develop relationships that are healthy with other women because the shadow of the mother is there. Very strong sometimes. They rely so much on the mother, even when they're very grown up. And it's not healthy. They don't live their own experience. They live through the mother experience. And that's the dark side of Cancerians. They take very seriously opinions of the mother and the shadow of the mother. That's the moon. The moon in tarot, the card of the moon, represents things that are hidden to us. So sometimes behind the sign of Cancer, there's a deep, deep wounding from previous experience, previous lifetimes, or from the womb, depending on what do you believe, right? You don't have to believe in past lives. It's more interesting when you see through the lenses, astrology through the lenses of past lives and karma, because it explains everything perfectly. Easier, but you can go into the psychological approach and the archetypal, and obviously we suffer when we are in the womb of our mother. We carry the wounds of our mothers, and the wounds of the mothers in our lineage, in our tribe, even collective woundings of the mother, right? Men tend to have a lot of problems with this society that makes them having to cut the cord too quickly, right? To be courageous and autonomous very soon in life, right? Women, we have more, they let us be more attached to the mother, but there's like, in this society is very cruel with boys. Oh, you have to, don't cry, cover your feelings, don't show affection in public, move on quickly, don't be a child. All these things that men are constantly, men don't cry, right? Like this song of The Cure, or you have to be responsible for others since you're 5 years old because you're the man of the house, or you're your father's image, all this shit, right? That is not good for for a healthy development of the personality. That Jung talks a lot about that. And so Cancerians have this hidden side that very few people, they don't let people to get to know them until they feel completely safe and not judged. They need to feel accepted. They need to feel covered. They need to feel appreciated. So there's a lot of Cancerians are not easy to manage emotionally because they have a lot of needs, and sometimes you just don't have time, or you don't have the abilities to really cover all their needs or to be at their emotional standards, right? You have to let them be, you have to let them alone, you have to let them have space. Very strong. They need. My daughter has 3 planets in Cancer, and Mercury, one of them. Mercury, two of my children have Mercury in Cancer, like it is right now, and it's very difficult for them to talk about themselves, to talk about their feelings, to talk about what they want. Oh, asking what do you want to a Cancerian, it's a nightmare because they don't know. Literally, it's like, I don't know. What do you feel? How are you feeling? I don't know. I don't know. I hear that. Well, they have a lot of Libra. That's Libra and Cancer are the signs that they don't know. You ask them something and I don't know. Or you choose first. That's another one with Cancerians. If I ask them, and it's so funny because now in astrology, right, you just keep all these experiences in your mind. And sometimes they're in the car, my 3 and me, and I ask them, where do you want to go? And the 3 of them, Cancerians, I don't know. You decide. That's the Libra. They're both Libra moons. My boys, they're both Libra moons. With different rulers, so there's the subtleties of the ruler. How do you do your moon? Through the sign that it's the ruler in. So in one case, they're both moons in Libra, but where is the ruler, right? Where is Venus? So my son has Venus, and one has Venus in Leo, so he's more courageous, and the other has Venus in Gemini, so he's always talking and learning and communication. He's like, he can't stop talking. It's really like a problem for him. But if they have to decide, that's very difficult for Cancerians to decide. So because feelings are not easy to interpret, so they get really caught up in the feelings, and when you have to express, especially Mercury in Cancer, it's very difficult to put words to what you're feeling when you have Mercury in Cancer or Moon in Cancer, right? You feel it, but you don't know how to name the feelings. And that's okay. It's just things that we'll have to, when we love a Cancerian or someone with Cancer, strong Cancer, you just have to roll with it. Learn the placements of your people you love, because that, I'm so grateful as a mother for astrology, because it has made my life with my children easier. Since I started into this wonderful world of the esoteric philosophy and all the philosophies of the past, we have a better relationship. I have way better relationship with my children. especially with the eldest, the two eldest, that they had the worst part of me being a mother, because I didn't know how to be a mother when I had my first two. So they were the experiment. That's something that the moon, it's good to talk about the mother, right? Because we technically learn how to be a mother with our mothers, and how to be a woman with a woman in our lives, the feminine, right? And men learn from their women and their mother their feminine side, how to be in touch with their feminine side, right? That it's useful when you are in a relationship, and when you are trying to understand yourself as a whole person, not only the masculine, but both sides. We all have feminine and masculine. We have to try to have them in peace and in balance, because when we are very, very masculine, we need to soften. And if we are very, very feminine, we need to toughen up. So balancing, that's the Libra. I love the sign of Libra. But balancing the feminine and the masculine energy. But in Cancer, the masculine, it's very hidden. So even men that have a lot of strong Cancerian energy, Jupiter in Cancer, that it's exalted. My daughter has that combination, Jupiter in Cancer. Very feminine guys, and they're not gay. I mean, they can be gay too, or you know, queers. These people that likes to dress like women, but they don't identify as women. It's just like to dress like drag queens and all this stuff. I'm not an expert in that. Sorry if I offend someone. But gays can have strong, because they're very intuitive. They're very in connection with their feelings. They're more connected to the mother. Their feminine side is stronger than the masculine sometimes. In some gays, not. Some gays are the feminine, some are more the masculine. But they all have this connection with the mother, with the food, they loved cooking, cooks. Cancer. Cancer is the sign of the cooks, the sign of food, everything that it's welcoming to make you feel better, to soothe your stomach, right? People that makes teas, for instance. I have a tendency to do a lot of, now that I'm an herbalist, I've always loved drinks, warm drinks, all the time. It's like sometimes I can skip a meal, but I cannot skip a tea or a coffee or something different. I like to make my own potions. I call them the potions, right? I mix stuff, and they have to be the water and the warm. That's even when the moon is moist and cold, the metal associated with the moon is silver. I love silver. I always have. And now I have, this is funny because I had today my Madonna. This is the Virgin. And it's, I use it today on purpose because I was coming to my new house to clean the kitchen. The kitchen is Cancer, right? So food, nurturing, and I was listening to my teacher. My main teacher was Adam Ellenbass. I have a lot of difficult emotions toward him because he's a Cancer, so he changes a lot. And when I started studying with him, he was a person. Then some years later, he changed his religion. He changed everything, right? They change a lot. So if you want something more stable, people with a more stable emotions, don't go with a Cancerian. Really, like if they get into your nerves, if someone that it's changeable all the time, don't go with people that have strong Cancerian, because they love you one day and the next day they don't. They need to be alone. They're very nice, but they are very volatile, emotionally volatile. Not as much as people with strong Uranus conjunct the moon, or conjunct the sun. It's not like these rashes of energy, electrical energy. But it's all about, they have these waves of emotions. Pisceans and Cancerians, they have these waves of their emotional life. Is like sometimes it's like a river, sometimes it's like the ocean, and they move. So they are floating in these emotional states. There are some days the tides are higher, sometimes the river flows lower if it rains, or it's water, the defrost, they rise and it's a mess. Right, everything comes together. So thinking about Cancer, it's thinking about moving waters. In Scorpio will be like stagnant waters, but in Pisces it's moving waters. I mean, in Pisces and in Cancer. So what's the intention of this moon? To start a new cycle, being more aware of our feelings and the feelings that we have towards our mother. A lot of Mercury retrograde, it's redoing things. So for instance, I'm moving to this house, but this is a redo because I moved 2 months ago to a house that I couldn't live in for more than 3 days, and I have to move in, move out, and move in a week. So 3 movings in a week. So that was before Mercury retrograde, and when I signed the lease for this house, I saw the Mercury retrograde and I was like hesitant, but I said, no, this is good because I'm redoing what went wrong 2 months ago with that horrible experience, very traumatic experience. And it has happened to me before. It happened to me in 2019. So the cycles of the planets, things that happened in the past, will predict what you will have to face in the future. So that's why astrologers, they always have a diary with things that happen, right? Because you know that, well, this was March, okay, so in 8 years this is gonna happen again. And for my son that has the surgery, when he was born, after a week, my other son took her out of the crib and let him fall on the floor. So he break his the cranium, the head, like the bone in the head. He was like a week old. Fortunately, like, he has a little blood clot, but it was, at the end, it was all fine. Probably this affected him in a way with learning, because having Mercury retrograde, you can have problems learning to speak or learning things, certain things. So for instance, some people, it's difficult, mathematics is difficult for people with Mercury retrograde, or language, especially language. My mother had Mercury retrograde in her chart, and she was a speech therapist. And both my sons with Mercury retrograde have certain speech issues. And well, my son that has the accident probably had an affliction in the brain that doesn't allow him to learn properly. So he's very intelligent, but school is not for him. School, he's very bad at school. He's very good at learning and reading and when he likes to, but there's always also other aspects there, like he has Uranus conjunct the ascendant. So the chart is always like, it tells us everything about us, but it's not only one signature. So when I talk about Cancer, well, it depends. All these things they're consistent. When you met a lot of people, when you work with people with Cancer, you see these patterns of repetition in every Cancerian, like the sensitivity, the need to be alone. They love to be in the water. I had a partner, very strong Cancerian energy, and every day, no matter what, he will get into the tube, in the tub, the bathtub, just to settle down. That was his way of settle down, the way my other son gets into the under the covers, and the other in his cave, dark cave. So they have their own ways to, but they love water, and it's very good for them to get into the water. If they can swim, if they can go to the ocean, because that's their natural environment, really. Like Taurians need to be in the woods at least sometime in their lives. Cancerians need to be in the ocean, in the water, to take the crabs, to see them, right? See how the crabs walk? They walk very weird. They walk like sideways. That's Cancerian. So when you approach to a Cancerian, be careful of not hurting their feelings, because they won't tell you that you hurt them, but you will notice because they will keep silent. They get very, very hurt by anything related with judgment. If you judge them, or if you tell them, oh, you're doing this wrong. I'm Sagittarius stellium as well, so, and I'm a beast in telling the truth. And Cancerians, they tend to hate me because I'm too blunt for their feelings. You hurt their feelings. So when you're with a Cancerian, you have to. My son, even if I tell him, you're wake up late. Are you telling me that I'm a lazy ass? And he doesn't like it. He doesn't like it. Like, we have to be careful, because they get hurt and they don't let go, like clinch. They clinch to the negative emotions. So one day you had a bad day and you yelled at them, and they will remember forever how bad you treated them, and they will not forgive you. They don't forgive easy, and they take sides. So if they have a friend or whatever and you don't approve, or they are very attached to the family and the mother doesn't approve you, that's a thing with dating Cancerians. If the mother doesn't like you, you're out. A Cancer will never go against the will of the mother. So give up. If the mother doesn't approve and he's a Cancerian or she's a Cancerian, forget about this guy. You'll never succeed, because the mother goes first, right? And if you're a mother of Cancerians, try to like your girlfriends of your boys, or the boyfriend of your girl, because otherwise you're gonna ruin the relationship with them. So we have to be very careful when we are mothering in any way, right? Because what we do will set a tone for them to experience life through your lenses. So we need to master motherhood in getting to know ourselves and to calm down our dark side. Speaking about Pluto, all right? The shadow. Try to face your shadow away from your children. It's impossible, but we can do better than our parents. So, for instance, I had a mother that was very busy, because her way of living and the karma that she had to carry, she couldn't mother me. So I grew up alone with my other aunties. Like, there was a lot of mother figures in my life, but there was never a consistent, loving, caring mother with me. So I was very traumatized with that. I felt always very rejected by the feminine, by the mother. She had a lot of problems, so she really didn't have the energy, the time, or the consciousness to be a good mother. She did what she could, and I'm grateful. She gave me life. She gave me a lot of good things. And she was a great teacher for me, but she was not a good mother for me. She was a great teacher. So I learned how not to be with my children through my experience with her. And it's not judgment. It's sometimes life, it's like that. Like if you have a mother, she was a single mother, divorced but single. So enough she had being a healer as a speech therapist, and then being one of the many daughters of my grandmother that was a very difficult person, and she had a tough childhood. So she did what she could with the time she had. So I had mother for some minutes in the morning, some minutes at night, some hours during vacations. But she was a figure that I was around, but she was not this concept of the mother. So when I had my children, I went the opposite way. Extremely protective. I'm a Scorpio moon, so you will mother your children through your moon. So extremely possessive of I didn't want my babies to be touched by anybody. So my mother-in-law, no, you're not part of this. You get out. So I was very protective. I didn't want them with other people. I didn't want them nobody to touch them, to feed them. Only me. It was, they are mine. That's Scorpio, right? You're mine. don't, and I won't let anyone else to touch you. That's not good. You have to find your balance, right? But it took me time to learn from my experience and not make the same mistakes. But we always make mistakes. Our mothers make mistakes. We're all human and we're all trying. But we can do better. So if you have children that are Cancerian or a partner that is Cancerian, getting to know about the sign, it's very important. Getting to know which moon, where's the moon, because their moon will rule. Where is the moon of your children? Where is the moon of your partner? Where is the moon of your friend? If you have a Cancerian friend, or if they have the moon in Cancer, the moon feels better there, but also it increases all this signature for characteristics of Cancerians. It's a beautiful sign. I recommend Cancerians always to be in touch with their feminine, in touch with their sensitivity, to not hide it, because they were born with this gift, so use it for something. They can be very creative, creative writers, a lot of Cancerians, very good creative writers, artists, depending on other aspects of the chart, but artists that you can feel, poets, oh, that's perfect for poetry, right? Or great readers of poetry, or people that reads out loud poetry, songwriters, musicians, obviously. Musicians, they tend to be more Piscean, but they can do lyricists, for instance, great lyricists. People taking care of others, so nannies, right? A lot of nannies with Cancer energy. Nurses can be, but probably nurses will be more Virgo. But Cancer, they can be people that takes care of something. So people that takes care of elderly, of children, of the sick, people that takes care of your grandmother. people that cook for others, people in kitchens or in school settings, a lot of Cancerian energy, teachers, probably for kindergarten or elementary, they tend to be more prone to children. They like women, people that help women a lot. All these centers, for instance, shelters where women and children go to be protected. That's a really beautiful expression of Cancer energy. Shelters where other women or other staff is dedicated to help women in need, even if it's from abuse or from any type of reason that makes you leave your home. People with homeless people, these kitchens where you can go and have a food. Charity work with animals as well, taking care of animals, taking care of everything that is mothering something. Taking care of plants, probably plants would be also more Taurian and Virgo, even Capricorn. They like plants, we like plants a lot. But Cancer is always about taking care of the needs, the emotional needs of others, and bring security, give food, nourishment, and people that, for instance, in the past, there was always like a person that feed your baby if you couldn't, or if you were rich, it was not appropriate to breastfeed your children, so you had like a nonna. I don't really know the name of that. I know it in Spanish, but I don't know it in English. I have Mercury in fall, so I'm allowed to make these mistakes. But yeah, everything that it's nourishing, that it's supportive, that helps with your love, with your compassion. It's a very compassionate, so it's a typical guy that they will see all these dogs in the rescue and they will give money, or they will go and do some hours or try to help adoption for animals, stuff like that, or children, people with that works in hospices and orphanages. The other side of Cancer is orphans. A lot of Cancerians, they're here to experience the mother through the lack of mother. So people with no mother, orphans, the mother died, the mother gave them. I know a lot of Cancerians, and I've read charts of Cancerians that have no mother. The mother gave them away when they were born. So they were abandoned by the mother. So the mother wound tends to be stronger in Cancerians because they don't have a mother, or the mother was busy or whatever. Right, that's the other side of the spectrum. They don't have a mother, so they have to understand the world without the primordial caregiver. That's a very tough. Cancerians that are orphans or that were given up to adoption, they don't do well relationships. It's very strong. The wound is so strong. They don't trust women. They don't trust others, right? Because the mother abandoned them. So, yeah, that's a topic. What else? I think I'm gonna leave it here because it was just a chat about the home. I'm gonna keep cleaning my home instead of being here recording videos. But it was important for me to follow the instructions of the planets. by experience know that when you follow the cycles consciously, when you're aware of the cycles and you give something to specific transits, specific movement, whatever, you end up having a better experience. So the gods tend to shower us, and this is a difficult moon because everything that is coming with the outer planets and Jupiter, Pluto, and a lot of things are happening in the sky, and they always touch us. So this is my offer to the moon. Be kind to me, Luna, Lunera. I love you. I love my Luna, Lunera. I always look at her. Where is she? What color? How bright? How it is in the morning, at night. It's very interesting to just, without the screen, just look at the moon. Where is she? What is she doing? How I feel now that I see that it has like it's third quarter, or right now you can't see her because she's hidden, right? The moon is hidden. The mother is hidden. We don't see the light. So things are not clear, guys. So whatever an astrologer, if there's a lot of people doing astrology that has a very lower consciousness and very basic understanding of the immensity of the system of astrology, so they have very short views, and sometimes it's just book knowledge, not experience. So they don't walk the talk, they just talk. Don't follow those. Follow those that walk the talk, those that talk to your heart. We need to love astrology to be good astrologers, and we need to live astrology consciously to be astrologers and to teach astrology. That's why I stopped doing it for 3 years, because I needed to understand a lot in my own life and a lot about how my chart was playing with my experience of life and my experience as an astrologer. So I took off 3 years to walk the talk, especially with herbs and the medical astrology apart, to study all this part that it's gonna take me forever to be really good at that. It's a very difficult science. Very difficult. Astrology, it's so easy when you see how difficult is medical astrology. So that's gonna take time, but I have Saturn on my side. But in the meantime, I need to talk about astrology because that's my call. And I know that my vision, my insight, it will resonate for some, and not for everybody. I have Aquarius rising, so I'm not for everybody. And but I know that for the people that will resonate with me, it can be something of help. So my Virgo always wanted to help, and I'm here to as a messenger, because Virgo, it's Mercury, so messenger of the gods. What I've learned about the gods in my life, I'm here to talk about it. So I'm going out of here to keep my moving to my new house with this beautiful new energy, and to make this house a home, so I don't have just the empty walls and boxes, so I can create something beautiful now that Venus is in Virgo. I'm gonna try to make this is a white canvas. It's a little bit, I don't know which color is this, like gray, very low gray. It's between gray, it's earthy, but it's a white canvas, so I need to really give it life. I like color. I'm not a beige person, so this house needs a lot of touch, and I'm gonna dedicate a few months to really feel at home in this place, that it's foreign to me right now, and my children, to create a home that I've been needing to, also welcoming you guys into my house with something nicer than just this bamboo. And yeah, but I'm gonna be around a lot. That's something that I need to do. I have a lot to talk about, and this is the perfect. I need to teach. I'm a Sagittarius, so teaching, and it's just a personal and collective goal that I set for myself this year. You're gonna come back. You like it, whether you like it or not. I don't like YouTube. I don't like social media, but it's what it is. It is what it is, and we have to accept it. That's a lesson for the moon. Acceptance of things. This come to me. I have to figure it out how to do it. This gift I have, well, I have to find a way to make it public, right, with Aquarius. So yeah, anyways, this was weird. I'm weird, so it's okay. And take care, enjoy, go with your mother, remember your mother, be nice with your memory. We have to forgive our mothers, because motherhood, it's the most difficult thing. Some mothers have more equipment for this climbing of the mountain, and some get to the summit very successfully, others not that much, because they couldn't afford the hiking shoes, right? Or the climbing apparel. But anyways, forgive yourself also if you're a mother, for not giving your children the best. Sometimes we're just human, and regrets. There's a lot of remorse and with us as mothers, but everything is an experience, and we learn from that. So if you're aware that you were not a good mother, forgive yourself and try to do better if it's still time, or just forgive yourself, forgive your children. You had a difficult mother, forgive your mother. You don't have to be in touch with the person to forgive. Forgiving is something personal. We forgive the people that hurt us or that wronged us, because that's the only way to move on in life. You don't need to have them again in your life. You don't need to call them. They don't need to say I'm sorry. But you need to say I'm sorry for yourself. And because Cancer, it's about really honoring your feelings and be compassionate. Mothers do the best they can, even when what is best is horrible, but it's the best they can do. So once we have that in mind, it's easier to just let go of the anger, the frustration. If you had a partner or someone from the past that wronged you, Cancerian, let them go. Let them. Sometimes they're just scared people. Cancerians tend to be very scared of living, because they feel that everything is against them, or someone, it's get out to get me, right? My feelings are out, or feelings of others are out to get me. They feel like that. So forgive them, let them be themselves. If you can get closer, if you can approach or you can help, it's okay. But if they don't want you, sometimes Cancerians are they just don't want you in their lives. You have to respect that, accept that. If you don't want your mother in your life because she was not nice with you, it's okay, but forgive her. Forgive her for you, for her, and for the rest of your life experience, because holding grudges are not, it's not good. It's not good. That creates cancer. Cancer, the sickness, that's created by emotions that are not processed, and holding grudges, it's the worst. So forgive you, the mothers in your life, forgive the women in your life. Now that Venus is in detriment, in fall in Virgo. And do the best you can with every day. Be compassionate. And I mention all the things of Cancer, so if you can commit with one to honor the goddess, that would be Selene, that's the name in Greek, or in Roman, and in Latin, Selene, it's in Latin, it's for the Romans, that was the name of the moon. So if you know a Selene, Celine probably would be in French, all these names that come from the moon. Just do something nice, cook something for them, or make a tea, a cup of tea, a warm cup of tea is great offering. And yeah, I'm offering this to the goddess as well, and to my children, so they know what's inside this mother. Take care, guys. Thank you.